Proper response is yes.
What is that?
Oh, yeah.
So it's probably, well, no, I mean, it's my hat.
But that's
So
I'm glad you brought
I don't know if you can get
Yeah, is that what you said?
and I've got all the source
Well,
code.
did you print one out?
So if they can just make it local, it doesn't even have to be on the store.
sometimes I like to look.
Yeah, we need to have something to read on.
This is the first time I haven't brought my
No,
computer
I know.
thinking, well, I'll use that as a
Okay,
backup.
yeah.
Now, why can't you just go to the
I will not be forgetting my computer.
flag and
Okay.
count to certain, I don't know.
Now go right here.
Oh, you talked about the bookmarks?
Yeah.
But I didn't download that software.
Oh, okay.
He can read it off there. Proclamation.
Yeah.
Did you read the email?
You should look at the agenda. Yeah, your name is in bold letters.
Oh, okay. Well, I just figured the Legion read
We're
it.
gonna move it up. Everybody ready? Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Trophy Tub Town Council meeting for May 18th, 2022. Hereby call the meeting to order at 7:02 p.m. We do have a quorum present with all council members here this evening. If you'd please stand, we'd like to invite Pastor Joel Keeley from Bar Church for invocation, and then Councilmember Monger will lead us in the pledges.
All right, let's pray. God, there's a lot of hurt in our world and pain and division. So I pray we would not be overwhelmed, but we wouldn't be oblivious either. And we would look at the person in front of us, the people in our homes, the neighbors around us, and even the people to our right and to our left. We would love them well, and we would do our part to bring peace. And even now, as we have had an election, we have a council and a leadership team, and so pray that we be supportive and kind and thoughtful in our words and our actions and the treatment of one another. Bless this meeting tonight. Thank you for these men and women that serve us. Thank you for the men and women that protect us, protect them, and help us to be good citizens and do our best to bring light and love into this place. It's through Jesus that I ask it. Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you.
Number 5.
Okay, if it's okay with everyone, I'd like to move item 5 up so we can welcome our Bobcat cheerleaders in because they are out in our lobby right now. Welcome, ladies. So we are recognizing our Byron Nelson High School Bobcat Cheer Game Day Competition team for winning the UIL 6A Division II Spirit State Championship for the second consecutive year. And they're still coming in, so how about a big round of applause? It seems just like yesterday you guys were in here accepting this recognition. Would you like to say a few words? Do we have some team captains or coaches? I can say some. Please do. Thank you.
Firstly, thank you so much for having us here today and celebrating their achievements. This team has worked so incredibly hard to go back to back for a 6A Spirit Championship is incredibly difficult, and no other team could have done it besides this team. They worked so hard every single day. They lifted each other up, and we're just so proud of all that they've accomplished this year because they truly deserve it. So we're super proud of you girls. Good job.
Good job. And if you ladies would like to come up and just say your name and grade, and so we could recognize you for your big win.
My name is Morgan Skibar, and I'm a junior.
My name is Victoria Del Cid, and I'm a junior. My name is Taylor Merchant, and I'm a junior.
My name is Jillian Acosta, and I'm a junior.
My name is Randy Anderson, and I'm a sophomore.
My name is Brianne Bowman, and I'm a sophomore.
My name is Sarah Smalling, and I'm a freshman.
Oh, careful.
My name is Marissa Cameron, and I'm a freshman. My name is Kaylin Spasic, and I'm a sophomore. My name is Kylie Watson, and I'm a sophomore. My name is Audrey Jordan, and I'm a freshman. My name is Riley Garrett, and I'm a freshman.
My name is Logan Lovell, and I'm a freshman.
My name is Izzy Stone, and I'm a freshman. My name is Caitlin Daney, and I'm a sophomore.
My name is Kayla Conway, and I'm a sophomore.
My name is Madden Warner, and I'm a sophomore.
My name's Sydney Stree, and I'm a sophomore.
My name is Raleigh Keener, and I'm a sophomore.
My name is Ainsley Doyle, and I'm a freshman.
My name is Alex Nolan, and I'm a freshman.
My name's Micaiah, and I'm a freshman.
Okay. Do we have our trainers here? Any trainers?
No, I think that's it. We had some who were on our team as well that couldn't make it tonight. But I just, again, wanted to celebrate this awesome team. They're so amazing. And really, we only had a handful of returners this year. We had such a large turnover last year. And so to do this with like more than half of us new to competition was really just such an accomplishment and such a testament to the hard workers that they are. So we're just extremely proud of all of them. So thank you so much for honoring Byron Cheer here tonight. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, and we'll come down and take a quick photo, but congratulations to all of you, all the coaches, all the trainers, and of course the families. We all know that cheer moms put a lot of work into this, and there's a lot of volunteer time. So kudos to all your support system that you have at home. And I saw we had a lot of freshmen and sophomore and juniors, so hope to see you again here next year for another big win, okay? All right.
All right, let's go ahead and line up. My juniors go like more in the front, but we're probably gonna have to just do 2 lines. So like upperclassmen try to go in the front. Upperclassmen try to come up a little bit. Jillian, you can come up on this end too. There you go. Sarah, switch with Marissa.
This is kind of a
Take as much step back as y'all can. Yeah, let her in.
Y'all squeeze in just a little bit more on this side.
Picture.
All right. Scoot it just a little bit more on this side. There we go. All right. 1, 2. Excellent. Thank you.
One more over here.
Yeah, ready?
Come on, man.
Okay. Number 8.
Yes, thank you. Okay, I'd like to move to item 8 for our proclamation, if that's okay with everyone. Councilmember Sheridan will be issuing this proclamation recognizing the patriotic meaning of Memorial Day. This evening, we do have our very special guests, Terry and Elizabeth Burgess. They're here to accept this proclamation. They are a Gold Star family who lost their son, Staff Sergeant Brian Burgess, after enemy forces attacked his unit in Afghanistan. So this is a very special family we have here tonight. I'd like to honor them and also have them receive this proclamation. Councilman Sheridan.
Thank you. You think I know how to read. Proclamation 2022-08, Town of Trophy Club, Texas. A proclamation of the Trophy Club Town Council proclaiming May 30th, 2022 as Memorial Day, a day of solemn remembrance in Trophy Club, Texas. Whereas, when the nation was still recovering from the horrors of the Civil War, Americans held both formal and informal ceremonies to honor and remember those fallen in the battle. And whereas on May 5th, 1868, the Grand Army of the Republic, a Union veterans organization, established Decoration Day, May 30th, as a time for the nation to decorate the resting places of the dead with flowers. And whereas the United States Congress in 1972 established the last Monday in May as Memorial Day. And whereas more than 1 million men and women have sacrificed their lives for our freedoms while serving in the United States military, and many more remain missing and unaccounted for. And whereas it is appropriate that the citizens of Trophy Club, Texas remember the bravery of those who gave their lives so that their sacrifices are not forgotten and continue to serve as a reminder to us the cost of our freedom. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Alicia L. Fleury, in conjunction with the the Trophy Club Town Council, do hereby proclaim May 30th, 2022 as Memorial Day in Trophy Club, Texas. In addition, I urge all citizens of the town to participate in the observance of the day. Passed and approved on May 18th, 2022 by the Trophy Club Town Council.
I make a motion to approve Proclamation 2022-08, recognizing the patriotic meaning of Memorial Day.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilman Monger and a second by Councilman Sheridan. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. And if Carl and Dennis would like to come down, and we'd like to welcome the Burgess family to the podium, please. I almost gave the cheerleaders your proclamation, sorry.
And for those who may not know, Dennis and my son Brian served in the same unit, no slack, 101st Airborne.
No slack.
Hang on, one more.
Oh, one more. I'm sorry.
Right.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
We'll see y'all next week.
All right.
Are we back to number 1 now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So usually when we say goodbye to a council member, we don't actually put it on the agenda especially. But it was suggested that we do put this item on the agenda to honor Councilman Philip Schaffner. So we will proceed to item 1, which is to honor and thank Councilmember Schaffner for his service to the Town of Trophy Club for the past 8 years. And we have a little gift for Philip, but first, I know everyone on council would like to say a few words, so.
I'll go first. Philip, enjoyed working with you. Thank you for your advice, your history, and the nice arguments and debates we have. And I really do hope you are not lost in the shuffle and that you'll continue to be active. Thank you.
Philip, we didn't get to serve too long together, but we did share some of the same turf with the P&Z. And I've always appreciated the deep research that you have provided. And I may call on you again for some of that. But thank you for your service, and I've appreciated our associations over the years.
I want to go last.
Okay.
Hey, Philip, it's been a pleasure serving with you. We've bumped heads a couple of times, and we've had fun a couple of times. And I wish you all the best. And I think you're the first holder of this seat, right? So you're like you'll forever be enshrined as the very first.
I got a story about that.
Yeah. Good luck.
Philip, I started with you back when I was on P&Z back in the day, and your research and your work and the time that you put in for this town can't be matched, and I appreciate you for that.
I think everyone said a little bit of what I was going to say, but the research and the knowledge and the history you have is absolutely unmatched, and the contributions you've made with the various council members and mayors you've served with are just innumerable. They really are. You're one of the biggest assets we've had for our town, and you will be greatly missed by everyone here, and I'm sure by all of our residents, and hope to see you back here one day.
So before, actually, my wife, I had an hour speech, and
I got a 2-hour one.
she whittled it down to 8 minutes. If Rylan and Garrett and Nick and I went to the podium, I think it'd be about 3 hours, right? But we have 2 things for you before I give my 8-minute speech.
I'll sit in that any day over these.
Just so everyone knows, this is the chairs from the old council chambers in the Mud Building. And during the November election, I came in, and Bill happened to come in, and I showed him around where they put us, or put my wife, I should say. And he saw the chairs, and he go, "Oh, wow, I'd like one of those." And so there you go.
Thank you.
Kevin, if you can come up here. By the way, if you're going to frame a dollar bill, just go to the rack and get a picture frame. Don't say, "Can you make this for me?"
No.
So Philip ran in 2013. We had to convince him to run.
Yeah.
So we ran one of the most unique campaigns going. He was up against Citizen of the Year, and her picture was on the, her picture was on the brochure, the yearly town brochure. So the first thing we had to do was go and get that removed and put it in storage. So the night before, the 3 of us are sitting around betting how much you were going to win by or how close you would come. So we put $1 down, and 8.5 years later, I still have the $1.
Wow.
Just shows you how old I am. So we wrote, on a night in November of 2013, you, me, and Kevin bet $1 to predict the outcome of your race. I won, coming the closest by 6 votes. Here's the $1 to hold on to until your next election. Sometime in the future, please stay in touch. Your advice is always needed. Yeah. So is someone going to take a picture? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Hey, how you doing?
Greg, you have to be in the picture. That microphone.
What's it?
You have one more.
What's it?
I'm trying to get you in the chair.
Oh, in the chair.
Definitely get a picture in the chair. Oh, go back.
More?
Sorry about all the fingerprints, but this is presented to Philip Schaffner for your dedicated and loyal service to the Town of Trophy Club as council member November 2013 to May 2022, Mayor Pro Tem May 2018 to May 2019, and February 2020 to November 2020. Did we get the dates right? Because
I'd have to look.
you're the one that usually looks up all that stuff. I don't know where to look.
Thank you.
I'm gonna miss you a bunch. I'll touch.
Well, after, we can do it after. Come on, we can do it now.
And you also get cake back there as well, so.
Well, I have a little to say. So.
Yes. Just a little bit.
Yeah, no.
You're right.
Before I get started, I first want to thank my family.
I haven't said my long speech yet.
Oh,
I
jeez.
thought that was your speech.
Moving on.
Are you kidding?
No.
Oh.
So, he did a lot. Bill
He did, he
Schaffner
did.
did a lot.
Well, this is why he's on the agenda.
Yeah. Everyone needs to know that you did a lot, as I just said. And I could go on and on and on. Ryland could, Nick could. It's all you contributed to this council. There are two things that really stand out that we did. We got the pit bond down, reduced it by $20 million, and made it 5 years shorter. And of course, the town hall, the original proposal was for up to $22 million. That got defeated overwhelmingly. I'll go into that story in a few minutes. And we got it down to $9 million, and we still even came up under budget. Of course, I still would have liked the wood and the stone, but that's another issue. There are two stories, actually three stories I got to tell. One is the logo. So the former town manager wanted to change the logo. He claimed it had, the clock tower was on it, and he said that Mr. Beck was going to turn down the clock tower, which it's still standing, by the way. So they wanted that logo changed. So at that time, we had a council member that didn't show up at the councils, and a couple of times, there was only 5 of us, and we were able to block it at 2 meetings. Then came the third meeting, we had 6, and it kept going into a 3-3 tie. So we have children in this room, so it's going to be a little difficult. Rose knows what I'm talking about. So all of a sudden, out of the blue, he wants to get this logo. They had a couple of different ones. One looked like the Minnesota Twins logo, and the other one looked like the Cuban flag. And people were even saying, oh, it's a communist thing. So out of the blue, he describes the clock tower in a French-sounding word. And I'll just describe it as a part of the body. So I don't know who freaked out, but so we wound up losing that vote 4-2.
Bill switched on us.
Was it you that switched? I should have known. I should have known. Anyway, so the other thing was the town hall. The original council wanted a 2-story town hall on golf course property with the town manager's office on the 2nd floor overlooking the golf course with a private bathroom and his own closet. As I said before, it was guesstimated at $22 million. And so what they do is, there's a CO and there's a GO, just so you know. One is the council can do with 4 votes pass a bond. The other is that you bring it to the voters, and they vote. So they decided, they knew it wasn't going to pass, so they decided with 4 votes to pass it. So him and I are going around, oh, this isn't going to work. So we got a hold of Secretary of State. So I go in, because you have to understand, Philip and I, he worked all day long, so he was the good son. I was the evil twin. So I had to handle everything. So I go in and I tell the town manager, I said, you know, we're going to put this for a referendum, and we're going back and forth. Let's just say we didn't exchange Christmas cards. So I go home, and about an hour and a half later, I get a call from the fire chief, Danny Thomas. He goes, what happened with you and the town manager? I said, nothing. He goes, well, we got a call, the paramedics got a call. He was laying on the floor, his whole head, he was bald, his whole head was red. I go, I don't know, he was upright when I left. So we put it on the agenda, and Jeanette is here, right? I saw Jeanette someplace.
Yeah.
Jeanette Tiffany? Yes, I'm here. Okay, so you'll remember this incident. So we had to have the meeting in the fire station because Mud Building, for some reason, was under construction. The fire station, for whatever reason, it's like the old Congress building. If someone's having a conversation over here, you can hear it over there. So we nicknamed Philip Dr. Strangelove because he had a hard time raising his hand to second something. If those who know Dr. Strangelove, he'd be like this. And finally, he'd raise his hand. So I make a motion, nothing, need a second. So Jeanette, if you remember, you leaned over to him and said, I think you need to second this. So it was put on the ballot, it was defeated. A new council came in and just changed everything around, and we kept it, we got it down, we saved $13 million. And that's on you, a great part is on you. And I think the voters sometimes need to know that and appreciate it. So other than that, I just, hopefully one day you come back. I realize the kids are young. Your job will settle down. And but I do have to give you guys the raspberry on something. It's referred to as the golden shed. So I'm going through the budget, and I see a couple items. One was 20,000, no, 20,000. So I get the number, and it comes to $49,998. The town manager at that time had liens to go to $50,000. So Wade, now you know why you have a paltry $25,000 limit. So I do some research, and it's for a shed at Harmony Park that was up against a chain link fence. Hogan's Glen was going to expand, so you didn't want this shed in front of somebody's house. So it was on pallets. All you had to do is go, put it somewhere else. But the park director talked you into, oh, we need a better one. And this is why we do not to exceed. So it's $49,998. So the park director, who is about 6'4", 300 pounds, comes before council, and I bring this up. And he all of a sudden became the incredible shrinking man. You know. And so I look at you three. Oh, Garrett isn't here. I look at you guys, and it's like. You guys are going to be my pallbearers.
You said you're going to outlive us.
Yeah. So I'm going to have imprinted on the top of the casket. I walk in the shadows of the golden shed. But good luck, my friend, and stay in touch. And Trophy Club needs you. I realize it might be 5 years, it might be 10 years, but we need people like you that look into things and hold people accountable. I know it's long, but it was worth it.
Thanks. So, like I was saying before I was interrupted.
As usual.
Before I get started, I do want to thank my family. They're actually here tonight. You very rarely see them, but my wife, Dane, and then I have boy-girl twins. They're not identical. One's a boy, one's a girl. Ainsley and Anders. I read a quote today, Mark Twain. He said, "Why waste your money looking up your family tree? Just go into politics and your opponent will do it for you." And so I've always said that I married a strong, independent West Texas girl. And I think we up here, we choose this. You know, we run, we know what's going to happen. You have to, you know, have pretty thick skin. Mark Twain didn't have Twitter and Facebook and all the other things that are around today. And so, and you got to remember that when I first started campaigning, my twins were 4 years old. So not even, you know, in Beck at that point. When I was finally sworn in, I think they had just turned 5, maybe a month after turning 5. And so really, you know, we choose this, they don't. And so they probably sacrifice a lot more. But like I say, you know, Dane is a very independent, very strong person. And so she shielded them from a lot of stuff that we have to deal with. And you got to remember, too, I started coming to meetings. I was one of those who thought, well, if you're going to do something, you probably should learn about it. And so I started coming to meetings several years before I got on council. And at that time, you know, you were lucky if you could get a video. Oftentimes it would come out the next day. Sometimes it wouldn't come out. Sometimes it come out 2 weeks later. Much easier now to want to do this because you can sit at home and listen to videos. You can watch videos live, you know, as it happens. And so anyway, so our family takes a lot of brunt of different things, and especially during the election cycle, it gets pretty heated and things of that nature. And so I just want to thank them, most importantly, for their sacrifice and them allowing me to do this as long as I did it. The majority of their life, I've been up here on council. There are 3 people that, and let me just tell you, if you go back and look at Meet You Anywhere's grand opening, not the grand opening, the groundbreaking. If you go look at that, you go look at Breadwinner's groundbreaking, you go look at Town Hall groundbreaking, there's always this little kid with a hard hat and a shovel, and it's Anders. And it's no doubt, I mean, when he was 8 years old, we got an email from Uber that said, "Congratulations, Anders, on becoming a Uber driver." 8 years old. So you'll see all that in those pictures. But I appreciate their sacrifice. But there's 3 people that I really have to thank. And let me sort of go back to when I first got to Trophy Club. If you see the movie Casablanca, Humphrey Bogart said, "Of all the gin joints in all the towns in all the world, she walks into mine." So in all the houses, in all the towns, in all the cities that I could have bought, I bought the one. My neighbor on one side was the CEO. He was the CEO of TGI Fridays. On the other side is Kevin Carr. And Kevin Carr had been on council 2 years, and I think on the mud about 42 years. And so we share a driveway. So there's no getting around, there's no avoiding. And so from day one, you know, one side, my neighbor only will talk TGI Fridays or golf. On the other side, it's 24/7 Trophy Club. And so I got immersed in Trophy Club politics. I became familiar with names like Jim Carter and Connie White and Dean Henry, and, you know, just the list goes on and on of the people that he immersed, you know, and talked about and discussed and things like that. But the thing that you have to remember is that we have a glorious relationship with the mud today. We're all in harmony and everything is pretty nice, and we have a good relationship. Took a long time to get to that. But in those days, when I first moved here, you know, you had Mud 1, Mud 2, the Master District, and you had the town wanting to take over Mud 2, and Mud 2 suing the town. It was a mess. And so I got immersed, certainly on the mud side. You know, I knew all the history of the mud and all of that was going on and everything. And I remember going to the first big town event. I think it was a debate that I went to. And I remember the first time that Kevin pointed out Greg Lamont. And I thought, well, he doesn't have horns and fire breathing out of his mouth. He looks like a normal person. And so anyway, I started going to mud meetings only because, you know, Kevin had just immersed me in the politics and things like that. So I think I started going to mud meetings first, and there was Greg. And Greg and I sort of hit it off and slowly, you know, became really good friends. And we've had our ups and downs, but I still consider, you know, him a really close friend. And so we would sit back there and laugh and carry on and all of that. And so I remember one night I was at a council meeting, and like they say, they had tried to talk me into, you got to run. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. And I remember the town secretary at the time, Amy, came back after one meeting, and she said, if you're going to come to all these meetings, you might as well run. And so that sort of tipped the balance, and I threw my name in the hat. And, you know, we had a very tough, very good opponent in Dina. She ran a great race. The sign ordinance came out of that election because everywhere she would put a sign, I would put a sign. Everywhere I put a sign, she put a sign, and it looked like, I told Wade today, it looked like a NASCAR event. You know, there were just, we were the only two running because, and that's another story that I'll give Bill Rose. The seat that I occupy, place 6, which is kind of my baby, I voted against it. When the election came before the voters, they wanted to add a seat. I thought, man, we do not need another council member. And I voted against the seat that I now occupy. And Bill never lets me forget that. But anyway, so she was very good competition. But there are 3 people that I really can thank, and that is Greg Lamont, Kevin Carr, and Susan Edstrom. Like I say, the mud and the town were at odds. They were fighting. But for whatever reason, the planets aligned, and I secured the old mud vote and the old town vote, you know, because of those 3 people. A lot of people don't know that I sent letters. I didn't send a mailer out. I sent actual letters to, we strategized and we thought, okay, if we can just get the mud vote, we can win this election. You know, the PID really wasn't, it was just starting to build houses. And so we thought if we can get the old mud vote, we can get this election. And so I pushed out a ton of letters, but in, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of those letters, Susan and Greg and Kevin had taken Post-it notes and written personal messages to each of those people, and I would put those in an envelope special and mail it to those people. So they would open that letter and have that from those 3 people. And so if you don't like me, you can blame them. If you like me, you can credit them. But those 3 people in particular, you know, were instrumental in me coming to council. I've worked with 3 mayors, Connie White, who was very fair. We you know, we had our differences, but she was very fair, let people speak, just a very good person. And then Alicia, I had my doubts. I didn't know what to expect, but I don't think that you will find too many people that are as committed to getting information out, committed to people knowing what's going on in town. And I think that, you know, I've often been asked, well, why don't you run for mayor? Why don't you? And I said, why would I run for mayor? I'm just as powerful. I have one vote. The mayor has one vote. But you have to have a special person like Nick or Alicia that want to be out in front and want to lead from the front. And you have to have people like that. And so I appreciate that about Alicia. And I think that she's done a commendable job, you know, for not doing it very long and jumping right into it. And then Nick, you know, I saved Nick for last because I was with him the longest. Nick, you know, he challenged me all the time to be good at Robert's rules. You know, we would have our back and forth on the rules, and I would, you know, just immerse myself. I'm going to know these. I'm going to be ready for him. And so, you know, I would do some crazy stuff, you know, some crazy motions, and Nick right there knew what it was and how to handle it. And you couldn't ask for a better person to run a meeting with a bunch of headstrong business owners. You know, I think all of us either owned a business or were very high up in the business, and we were all had our opinions and wasn't afraid to tell him our opinion or to block him, or, you know, and so he was very patient. He would let everybody speak, and we spoke, and Rollin and I are not shy about speaking, and we spoke, and Nick was very patient. And you know, I cherish those debates that we had. I think when you have that open dialogue, you're a better counsel in the end. And so so I appreciate that about both of you, or about all three of you. You know, all the mayors that I served with. I served with 18 different council members, and I can say that all the council members that I served with, from day one until now, we all, at the end of the day, just want to leave Trophy Club better than when we found it. You know, we get accused of things, we get labeled. For a long time, we were the Young Bucks, you know, and I forget the other nicknames that they gave us. And so you get labeled, you get accused of things. But at the end of the day, everybody that I've served with, I mean, bar none, has had the best interest of Trophy Club and wanted to leave Trophy Club better than they found it. And, you know, I've always said that when you run for council, you think, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to just go nuts, you know. And then you realize when you get on council, oh, I got to have help. I can't do it on my own. And so I've always been amazed at certain people who have been able to kind of rise above that, have a great idea, and get support. And there's several instances that I'd like to point out. One is Garrett Reed with the town hall. You don't, I wish all of you could live what we lived. The country club had changed their mind. They weren't going to sell us the land. We needed a building. The police station was, what, 2 double wides, 3 double wides. It was sewer coming out of it was just a nightmare. And the town hall, if you can call it that, was, you know, we were living with our step cousins, the Mud, and they owned the building, and, you know, it was cramped. We had a growing town and not much space, and so we didn't know what to do. You know, we tried to go to where the monastery is. That didn't work. We tried to put it between Beck Elementary and Medlin, and you can imagine what a nightmare that would be today if we had town hall there. But we couldn't do that because the Texas Park and Wildlife had given a grant. We tried to negotiate with the Methodist Church, had it real close. We're going to have parking share, pay, I don't know, $1 million something. It was crazy. And the Methodists, if you don't know the Methodists, you've got 18 layers of people to go through before you get a decision. So we got to about the third or fourth, and the decision was no, we're not going to sell it to you. Then we went to Beck. We thought, well, PD 30, we can put it there and all that. And I forget what he wanted. Yeah, it was, you know, we couldn't afford it. So Garrett reached out to the landowner here, which was going to be townhomes. It was originally zoned something else, and we had rezoned it for townhomes. And he reached out, and he got a crazy price, real cheap for this land. And so Garrett Reed championed that, you know. And then you have somebody like Jim Farrell. If you'd have gone to the roundabout after it was first built, there were about, how many did he say? 58 signs. He had counted, you know, he'd gone around and counted. Around this, I mean, he goes, you don't know where to look. There's so many signs. And so he just really, you know, beat that drum and carried that all the way through, and now there's 6 signs or something like that. So he did that. Jeanette Tiffany, you drive a golf cart in Trophy Club, there's one person you can thank, and that's Jeanette Tiffany. And so she championed that and got that push through council and made that work, you know, and thank goodness she did. Everybody loves it. It's been a huge, huge hit. In Trophy Club, we have restaurants that, you know, put parking there for it. Our parks have golf cart parking, and so it was a really good idea and something that she championed. And then Ryland, you'll be shocked at this one, but Ryland, the reason that you on staff, not you, Wade, you're long past this, but the reason that that the policy exists of 6 weeks staff maternity leave is because of Ryland Road, and him championing that for both. It doesn't matter who, man, female, male, 6 weeks maternity leave, and that was something that Ryland championed. And then not only council, but you don't realize how much citizens can have a big impact on what we do here. I remember going to a Parks and Rec meeting. I was the liaison then when we had liaisons. And Haley Little, who I think was president at the time, chairman, yeah, she mentioned about how bad it was to go to the pool and what a horrible experience it was for a citizen. Overcrowded, you know, groups come in, and none of us, we didn't know, we didn't go to the pool. So I went home and asked my wife, and she goes, yeah, I don't, and our kids were young, you know. She goes, yeah, I don't take them because I lose them. I don't know, you know. And so a light bulb went off, and a citizen was able to bring that to us, and we listened. So one council member, one citizen can have a huge impact on what we do and how we operate. And I won't go in. I listed a ton of accomplishments. Greg mentioned several. I'm very proud, you know, that we were able to buy the first piece of land that was not a park that the town owns. And we put this building that probably the police department needed more desperately than anybody, but it's a beautiful building. It certainly adds to our town, and so I'm very proud of that we were able to accomplish that. We even have an animal shelter. The former animal shelter was in in a shack, you know, in the back of the police department, kind of half outside, half inside, and so it's a much better facility for them and things like that. I've made a ton of mistakes. You know, I'll be the first to admit that. You never want me to be on the hiring committee for a town manager, because I'm a horrible pick at town manager. Until the last one.
Thanks a lot.
Until the last one. And we tried very difficult. Nick and I tried to get Wade to come just after Tom Class left, and to his credit, he said he wasn't ready and that he needed more time. And I hope Wade is around for a long time, because, you know, if we'd have had him in the beginning, things I think would have been a lot different. You're lucky as a council to have someone like Wade and who's going to be just a steady leader, you know, and I can't thank him enough for all of the communication. You know, that's all we ask for up here, is just communicate to us. You know, we begged and begged and begged in prior councils, because Nick or Garrett or Jim or Tim, any of us would be at the grocery store, and all of a sudden somebody come up, what's this going on with so-and-so? And you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And so communication is a huge thing, and Wade over-communicates, which is good. I wouldn't stop, you know, just you can't have enough communication on council. But I've made a lot of mistakes. There are votes that I wish I could redo. There are people that I wish I would have been a little nicer to, and things on Facebook that I wish I wouldn't have typed. So there are mistakes that I've made, and but I think I've grown as a person from the first day. And the reason I research is not because I want to, and not because it's, you know, I love to research things that I'm interested in. Not everything on council is interesting, but I'll tell you why I do what I do. When I first got on council, you know, I thought it looks easy. You know, when you see it, it looks easy. And the first vote, I think, was to approve GBNS, whatever, the architect fund, and I'm like, I don't even know what this is. You know, and I'm having to raise my hand. I had 5 votes that night. You know, and then I was sitting at the end like I am now, but I was on that end. It was at the Mud Building, and right next to me, they put me right next to Bill Rose. And Bill Rose had a book about this thick, you know. It was all highlighted, marked. His motions were on there. And so I thought, that day, that first night, I thought, I'm not going to let Bill Rose outdo me. And for 8.5 years, in the back of my mind, I think, I'm not going to let Bill Rose outdo me. And so that's why I do the research that I've done and things like that. Just because of Bill Rose, you know, he didn't even say anything to me. I just looked and I thought, oh, I'm not prepared for this. And from that day forward, I came prepared. But yeah, that we all make mistakes. We all wish there were votes that we could take back. But one thing that I've learned, and it took me a long time on council to learn it, but there will be items where you believe one thing and then new information is presented to make you change your opinion. Early on, I was not that person. I would, oh no, this is the way, you know, I'm not changing my vote. Some votes I would change, some votes I wouldn't. But the thing I learned is don't hold opinions tightly. Be open to them changing. The goal in council is not to prove yourself right. The goal in council is to get to the truth and to work for the citizens and to do what's best for the citizens. And I think that you should probably feel very confident in this council to do that. There's a lot of experience, not only most of it on P&Z, obviously, but and then obviously, you know, Greg and Alicia have been here for quite some time. But I'm very proud of place 6, being the first person to place 6. I looked it up today, and I will actually tonight when I'm gone, somebody else is sworn in, and I couldn't ask for a better person to give my baby to than Steve Flynn, and congratulations on your victory. But when I finish tonight, I'll be the third longest serving council member in Trophy Club history. I'll hold that title for 8 days until Greg passes me up again. I passed him, and now he's going to pass me back. But council is a fickle thing. There's been 55 of us who have been on council. Steve, you'll be the 55th. There's 54, you're the 55th. The average time on council is 3 years, 5 months, 6 days. So not very long in Trophy Club history. And there's only 5 of us that are around here that I've served with that have passed that mark, and that's Bill, Ryland, Greg, and Tim Kurtz. Surprisingly, I was actually surprised at that, but had passed that 3 year 5, that average mark. And so anyway, I just want to thank, I want to thank all of the people I've worked with. Been very great people. All of the mayors that I've worked with, very fine people. You couldn't ask for better mayors, and town staff. The only person left from when I started is Tony, and he's the only one. Everybody else, when I started in 2013, has come and gone. And I was telling Chief Arata earlier that thank goodness he came when he came, because the police department is 1,000 times different than it was when I first started, and that's a lot of that is to his credit and the team that he's built. But I couldn't be, I don't know, what does the president say? The State of the Union is strong. It's very strong. You have a good leader in Wade. You have a great staff, probably the best staff since I've been on council. And so, you know, you have a good council, good staff. The future is very bright for Trophy Club. And if you screw up, there's citizens' presentations. I'll come talk to you. So thank you. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you. Oops, Steve can get sworn in now.
Yeah. So the next item of business will be to canvass the returns and declare the results of the town's general election and special election held on May 7th, 2022. This is a very long document that I have to read, so I'll try to read very fast, so please bear with me. Ordinance 2022-22. An ordinance of the Town Council of the Town of Trophy Club, Texas, canvassing the returns, including the returns of early voting ballots cast in connection therewith, and declaring the results of the general election held on May 7, 2022, relating to the election of one council member to place number 5 for a 3-year term, and one council member to place 6 for a 3-year term on the Town of Trophy Club Town Council, providing for the incorporation on premises, providing for the confirmation of vote tabulations, identifying the officials elected in terms of office, authorizing the issuance of certificates of election, authorizing the issuance of the canvass of the general election, providing for engrossment enrollment, and providing an effective date. Whereas the returns of the general election, including the returns of early voting ballots, duly and legally made, showing that there were cast at the election the following valid and legal votes: Denton County ballots cast, 1441. Tarrant County ballots cast, 36. Total ballots cast, 1477. Whereas the returns of the general election, including the returns of the early voting ballots, duly and legally made, show that each of the candidates for the office of council member place number 5 and council member place number 6 of the Town of Trophy Club Town Council received the following votes. Town of Trophy Club council member place 5 for a 3-year term, Luann Oldham, 1,000 votes. Town of Trophy Club council member place 6 for a 3-year term, Steve Flynn, 837 votes. Wendy Bailey, 547 votes. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the Town Council of the Town of Trophy Club, Texas, in accordance with the canvass and tabulation of the results of the general election, the duly elected council members elected on May 7th, 2022, and the corresponding terms of office, subject to the taking of the oath of office as required by state law, is as follows. Council member place number 5, Luann Oldham. Council member place number 6, Steve Flynn. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve ordinance 2022-22, accepting the canvassing of the election returns, including early voting ballots cast for the May 7, 2022 election of one council member to place number 5 for a 3-year term, Luann Oldham, and one council member to place 6 for a 3-year term, Steve Flynn, and authorizing the issuance of certificates of election and authorizing the issuance of the canvass of the general election effective as of May 18th, 2020.
Okay, I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Lamont and a second by Councilman Schaffner. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations, you guys. Okay, and then we have to do this next one really quick as well.
Do it again.
Ordinance 2022-23. An ordinance of the Town Council of the Town of Trophy Club, Texas, canvassing the returns, including the returns of early voting ballots cast in connection therewith, and declaring the results of the joint special election held on May 7th, 2022, relating to a proposition to continue the Trophy Club Crime Control and Prevention District for 20 years with a local sales and use tax rate of 1/4 of 1%, and a proposition relating to the reauthorization of the local sales and use tax for 4 years at the rate of 1/4 of 1% to continue providing revenue for maintenance and repair of municipal streets, providing for the incorporation of premises, providing for the confirmation of vote tabulations, providing notice to the state comptroller, authorizing the issuance of the canvass of the joint special election, providing for engrossment and enrollment, and providing an effective date. Whereas it appears that a total of 1477 votes were cast in such election, with 1441 Denton County ballots cast and 36 Tarrant County ballots cast, and whereas the returns of the joint special election, including the returns of the early voting ballots duly and legally made, show that each proposition received the following votes. Proposition A, to continue the Trophy Club Crime Control and Prevention District for 20 years, for 930 against 536. Proposition B, for reauthorization to continue providing revenue for maintenance and repair of municipal streets, for 1222 against 233. Whereas pursuant of the Home Rule Charter, if a majority of the qualified voters voting on a proposed measure vote in favor thereof, such measure shall become effective in accordance with law. Now therefore be it ordained by the Town Council of the Town of Trophy Club, Texas, in accordance with the canvass and tabulation of the results of the special election, the aforementioned propositions A and B have been approved by the voters. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve ordinance number 2022-23, declaring the result of the joint special election held on May 7th, 2022, relating to a proposition to continue the Trophy Club Crime Control and Prevention District for 20 years, with a local sales tax and use tax rate of 1/4 of 1%, and a proposition relating to the reauthorization of the local sales and use tax for 4 years at the rate of 1/4 of 1% to continue providing revenue for the maintenance and repair of municipal streets for 4 years, effective as of May 18th, 2022.
Okay, I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Lamont and a second by Councilman Monger. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now for the fun stuff. We'll have our new council members taking the oath of office, and we will start with place 5 with Councilwoman Luann Oldham. Okay, please raise your right hand. I state your name, do solemnly swear
I, Luann Oldham, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office
of Trophy Club Council Member, Place 5
of Trophy Club Council Member, Place 5
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution.
preserve, what?
Protect and defend.
Protect and defend the Constitution
And laws of the United States and of this state.
and laws of the United States and of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let's invite Paul up.
My better half, making his way.
We'll get your certificate later. All right, who are we looking at, Greg or? And then grab one of this.
I'm turning him loose now.
I state your name, do solemnly affirm
I, Steve Flynn, do solemnly affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office
of Trophy Club Council Member, Place 6
of Trophy Club Council Member, Place 6
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution
and laws of the United States and of this state.
and the laws of the United States and of this state,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Okay, very good. And we'll get you.
Thank
And Tara?
Come on up here. You ready? Come on. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Put this down.
Just one more.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And we'll welcome.
Okay. Philip, are you gonna get that chair? Uh-oh. Don't forget your chair.
You have to stay.
He has to know somebody with a pickup truck.
Be careful with this chair.
Okay.
It will.
A big chair, thank you.
And if everyone can make it to the end of this meeting, there will be cake and refreshments afterwards. After? Okay, you settled in, Councilmember Flynn?
I am indeed. Thank you.
Does anyone want to welcome? Okay. Well, we
I'll
can't
start.
have a goodbye without a welcome, so would you
So-
like to start our?
Steve, as I said to you before, the dais is a fast-moving train. Do your homework, and you'll be just fine.
Welcome. Make it short. Get on with life.
Thank you.
He just wants the cake. That's really
Yeah,
what's.
he's ready for cake.
The
Welcome
cake is
aboard.
back. Yeah, the cake's in the back.
Are you done?
I'm done.
You're done? Okay. Welcome aboard. Buckle up. It'll be
Thanks.
interesting.
You got big shoes to fill, and I think you'll do fine. Welcome.
Thank you.
Very pleased to welcome you.
Thank you.
Well, welcome aboard, like everyone said. It gets crazy at times, but at the end of the day, we're all friends and we all want the same thing. So I think that it'll be a pleasure serving with you, and I think you'll be just fine. So welcome.
Thank you.
And would you like to say a few words?
No, just one thing. I once worked for a boss early on in my career, and I remember her saying to me, never be afraid to take on a big challenge, because with big challenges come big rewards. That's how I look at town council.
Very well. Okay, so our next order of business is public comments. This is an opportunity for citizens to address the council on any matter. The council is not permitted to discuss or take action on any presentations. Presentations are limited to matters over which the council has authority. Speakers have up to 4 minutes with a time limit determined by the presiding officer. Each speaker must have submitted their request to speak by completing their speaker's form or may email mayorandcouncil@trophyclub.org. I believe we have one speaker signed up this evening. We have Miss Beverly Foley. If you'd like to come to the podium and state your name and address, please.
Good evening. Hi, Council and Mayor. My name is Beverly Foley. I live at 8 Oak Village Court here in Trophy Club, and I've been a resident here in Trophy Club for almost 40 years. I am speaking on the prior agenda item for the CCPD to read what the state statute 363.151 and the Texas Municipal League says what a CCPD can do and the type of projects the CCPD is allowed to fund. For those who don't know who the Texas Municipal League is, they've been around since 1913, empowering the Texas cities to serve their citizens. The league exists to provide legal, legislative, and training services to city governments in Texas. This information was brought to the attention of the council and board several weeks ago. If anyone has any questions about my information tonight, they can contact me through my website, which is www.secureyourvotetexas.com. My contact information is there along with petitions to sign. The Trophy Club CCBD website says funds will be used for acquisition of equipment and technology. As I read through the state statute 363.151, you will not hear a program referenced as equipment and technology. I am in the process of auditing the 10 years of expenditures for Trophy Club CCPD. I started last week with the first year, 2013, requesting backup for the expenditures. This in no way has anything to do with the police department operations or personnel. My concern about the Trophy Club CCPD is sales tax revenue not being appropriately spent on what is allowed in state statute, and the statute on what is allowed is supported by the Texas Municipal League Handbook on Revenue that also verifies that it can be used only for certain projects specified in the state statute 363.151. So far in my research, I have not found the expenditures here in Trophy Club of the CCPD funds to be in line with the state statutes projects. Also, I spoke to Austin, the State Controller's Office's General Counsel. I was referred to a gentleman in the local tax department, and he agreed with the projects listed in the state statute 363.151 are the project funds that can be spent on. Those projects that the CCPD should fund are, and I'm going to read the state statute section 363.151, district responsibilities, limitations on expenditures, A and B. Also, section 363.154E, use of revenue, and I'm going to read the 363.154 use of revenue first, and then I'll do the 363.151. 363.154, use of revenue, item E. In a district created by a municipality, the board may spend the revenue derived from the sales and use tax distributed under section 321.108 of the tax code only for a purpose authorized by section 363.151. So then on 363.151, its limitations on expenditures. A, the district may finance all the cost of a crime control and crime prevention program, including the cost for personnel, administration, expense, and enhancement, and capital expenditures. B, the program may include police and law enforcement-related programs. And then it lists, which I'm going to go through as many as I can in the 4 minutes, is the type of programs that the crime prevention district is designed to do. One, under B1, a multi-jurisdiction crime analysis center, a mobilized crime analysis units, countywide crime stoppers telephone lines, united property marking programs, home security inspection programs, an automated fingerprint analysis center, an enhanced radio dispatch center, a computerized criminal history system, enhanced information systems programs, a drug and chemical disposal center, a county crime lab or a medical examiner's lab, and a regional law enforcement training center. C, there's some more. One is a block watch program, a community crime resistant program, school police programs, senior citizen community safety programs, senior citizen anti-crime networks, citizen crime reporting projects, home alert programs, a police community cooperation program, a radio alert program, and a ride-along program.
We're past our 4 minutes. Thank you very much
I knew I
for
wouldn't
coming
get
this
through,
evening.
but the next meeting I'll come back and I'll finish reading.
Absolutely. You are welcome to come back to every single meeting. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Okay, on to announcements and reports. We have a summary of our community cleanup held on April 30th, 2022. Mr. Carroll.
Mayor, if it's okay, I'm going to have Matt Cox, who's over that program, come up and give us our update. He's moving around a little better today.
Are you feeling a little better?
Yeah.
Thank you. I am feeling better. We had, that was April 30th, and it was 8 to 12 in the morning. It went just as smooth as the prior one back in the middle of April. I'm sorry, prior to, in the middle of October, I'm sorry. About the same amount of cars, just a little over 300. And the one thing I wanted to give credit to is a lot of the behind the scenes. So our guys, they do go out the Friday before, set up a lot of cones and all of that, because there's quite a bit of traffic if you've been out there in the mornings, and people will start lining up. It starts at 8. I think the first person that pulled up was around 6:50. And so, but the guys are out there, they got there about 6 in the morning. Republic did an excellent job. As far as I know, and I don't know if y'all got any feedback, but we didn't get any complaints about anything. It just smooth as glass. So a couple of the numbers that they sent that are, I like to kind of look at these, they just kind of stand out, but there were about 3,800 pounds of paper that was shredded. So these are the legal documents that you can bring up and they can shred. And then flammables, over 300 pounds of flammables. And then the last thing, so we always have extra gallons of paint sitting in the garage. So there are over 2,200 pounds of paint dropped off. So pretty much the majority of the vehicles were wrapped up around 9:30, 10 o'clock. So there was about 200 that came in through the first couple hours, and then the rest just trickled in. So, and also kudos to Republic for adding that extra hour, because there's some people that, you know, would rather come in and no wait. So, but again, the guys did great, Republic did great, and so we're looking forward to the next one. And it was nice having it at Byron Nelson like we'd had the year before as well. So.
Very good. Yeah, all positive feedback. It was great to be back at Byron Nelson, and I was reading, people were in and out of there very, very quickly, and all ran smooth. So thank you very much, and thank you, Republic, for hosting. Okay, next up, item number 7. We have an update on Taste of Trophy Club events. Tony? Do we have a video?
We do, and I'd like to play that just after my update. Mayor, good evening, Mayor, Council. Councilmember Flynn, congratulations. Councilmember Holman, Mr. Schaffner, Philip, I can call you Philip now, I guess. Congratulations, good luck. I'm here tonight to provide you all with a update on our Trophy Club, our Taste of Trophy Club event that we hosted on April 30th, last month, to be exact, at Independence Park East. The reason for the update is our first event of this kind here in Trophy Club, and we're extremely proud of it, and we cannot wait to host it again next year. Big special thanks to all of our staff, and I'll get a little bit into that in a minute, but I did want to say we suspect we received approximately 2,500 in attendance, so that was very, very impressive to us, especially being the first event of this kind here in Trophy Club. Our entertainment was phenomenal. We had a lot of good comments coming from our residents. So thanks to our band at Collective Avenue, our inflatables were a big hit, and of course all of our yard games as well. So the event was very busy. We did have a little bit of a rush there in the middle of the event, but the space and the venue and the location, the timing was great. It was a little warm, but a lot of people had fun. All the folks out there. I do want to mention our sponsors and thank them. We did collect in donations a total of $3,500, so I want to thank them for that, especially Wonderland Montessori, Freeform Chiropractic, Performance Fitness, Premier Martial Arts, Camp Gladiator, Grapevine Golf Cars, Home Light, Power Home Remodeling, and Trophy Club Women's Club. So we thank them all for that. Our restaurants did phenomenal as well. We had some good feedback from them as well at the end of the night. We had so many people there at once that one of them ran out of food, which is a good sign and a bad sign at the same time, but it was very impressive for them, and so they were really impressed with us. And I want to thank Trophy Club, Parks and Recreation Volunteer Association for all their help and support as well. I want to thank our police officers, our fire department, and our street department for all chipping in. And we could have not done this without them. And so they worked all week to make this event happen. And so I appreciate the teamwork there. I want to thank especially my team, Sumner, Aaron, and Deborah, for all of their support and help as well, and their dedication to the department. They worked long hours that week to make sure that this event was a success, and they did a great job succeeding at that. So I want to thank them for that. I do want to just quickly mention that our next event is 4th of July at the same location, Independence Park, July 4th. The 5K run will start at 7:15 in the morning that day of. Registration is open. Please visit our website for registration information. Any other questions, just please email us at www.parksandrec@trophyclubparksandrec.org. So before I have play this video, that concludes my update. I don't know if you guys have any questions that I can answer for you.
No questions, but it was a great event. I think most of the people in this room, I think went, or a lot of people in this room went, and it was great. Another, hit it out of the ballpark, first time event. Like Touch a Truck was first time, it was great. Taste of Trophy Club first time, it was great. Lot of positive feedback. I mean, before the event was even over, I was getting phone calls, emails, messages. Oh my gosh, this is wonderful. It was great. Everyone had a great time. Sponsors had a great time. Went around to all the tents, and everyone was so happy to be there. And congratulations. It was a wonderful event. And thank you to staff and our volunteers for making it happen. And of course, our first responders for being there, and for everyone that came. It was super fun. It was very great. Can't wait till next year.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you. So this video, I just want to thank our marketing director, Jill Lynn, for putting this together and working with Five Stone Creative for putting this together. Did a phenomenal job, and I'll play that next.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you. I want to back up just a little bit. With all the excitement with Steve being elected, we forgot to re-welcome Luann back to her seat. So
I felt welcome.
You just fit right in, and you're just, part of this group. And I know you came in under an abbreviated term, and now this is the start of your first real 3-year full term. So thank you for coming back. We appreciate it. And welcome back. Would anyone else like to re-welcome Lynn?
It's just like Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Same
Didn't
thing
we
I
just
said
do
to
this?
Steve, I said you.
Okay. Yeah, ditto. Okay, on to our consent agenda. Items 9 through 14 are listed in our consent agenda. Is there any item that the council wishes to pull for individual consideration? If not, I'll take a motion.
Make a motion to approve consent agenda items 9 through 13.
Second.
Oh, which one? Let's do it.
Oh, I forgot. I'm third and fourth.
Second.
Okay. I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Lamont and a second by Councilmember Flynn. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? And motion passes. Okay, next we have a couple of individual items. First up is number 15, to consider a request for a meritorious exception for proposed signs for Social Oak Wine and Whiskey Bar.
All right, good evening again. So our town ordinances,
Hold on a second. I got to redo the motion. I
Oh, did you
apologize.
say?
There's one on the next page.
9 through
So it's 9
14.
through 14. You
I
get it?
thought you said 9 through 14.
Yeah, thought you did.
You said 9 through 14.
Oh, did I?
I believe you did.
Oh, okay, sorry. He took-
It sounded like 13 to me.
9 through 14.
April, make sure it's.
Yeah.
I need to make sure it's 14.
Choose April.
Ah,
Okay, Mr. Cox, item number 15.
okay. Our town ordinances, they allow for an applicant to request a meritorious exception to go to P&Z and council. If a sign exceeds or is outside of what the PD is, and so, I'm sorry. The Social Oak Wine and Whiskey, they have presented, I'm sorry, I'll have to start over. Social Oak Wine and Whiskey, they have presented an application to our department for meritorious exception. The signs, both signs actually exceed what the PD allows, which is 2 feet 6 inches in height and 40 feet wide. Both of these signs exceed the height, but not the width of the 40 feet. If you look at, what's the next?
Matt, would you prefer to sit down, Mayor?
Oh, I'm okay. I'm okay. So this is the front sign. To the left is Blue 22, just to kind of give you an idea of where this is. Social Oak, it actually doesn't quite show on there, but right where you see Exhibit A is actually Social Oak's complete building. So they are limited on where they can put their sign on here. So again, the sign is 4 feet tall. It is 15 feet wide. If you just do quick math on what PD for the 2.5 feet tall and the 40 feet wide, that's 100 square feet. So what we have shown is that the front sign is a total overall square footage of 61 feet. And on the back is virtually the same. They're trying to go very unique on this design, and instead of taking up all of that brick wall, that's what they've decided. That's what they have, their application for us, the 7.5 by 7.5. We took this to P&Z and as presented, and they had a 6-to-1 vote back on May 5th. The town attorney has reviewed and has no objection, and we as staff do recommend approval for the uniqueness of both of these signs. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Do we have any questions? Have a motion?
Mayor.
Or, go ahead.
Matt, what was the no vote for? Do you remember the reason?
Well, specifically just for the size.
The size, okay.
Yes, sir.
But I saw in the presentation it falls within all the other signage that's been approved in the PD 30. So it's not something completely different than what we've already approved.
Yeah, ultimately, some of if the signs are presented and with a site plan, then that site plan would be approved altogether. So if a sign does fall outside of that, it may have not come as meritorious exception. It might have been approved at the very beginning as a site plan. So
I make a motion to approve a meritorious exception for Social Oak Wine and Whiskey Bar generally located at the northeast corner of State Highway 114 and Trophy Club Drive. The address is 2230 East Highway 114, Suite 550.
Second.
Oh,
I have a
I'm the
motion by
newbie.
Mayor Pro Tem Lamont and a second by Councilwoman Oldman. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Cox. I'm so sorry your back is still. And thank you, Mr. Lee, for being here from Social Oak. Everybody say hi. Can't wait till you guys open. Welcome to Trophy Club. Glad you got your signs. They look great. Looks very nice. Okay, item number 16, review future agenda items list with Mr. Carroll.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, and congratulations, Mr. Flynn, for your win, and we're looking forward to working with you in the future, and I know you'll be a great asset to this team, so thank you very much for being a part of that, and thank you, Philip, for all the years that you put in and for the kind words. We really appreciate that. Staff has never felt more supported
Don't forget Luann.
than we do today. And of course, Luann with her win as well. Did anyone really doubt it, Luann? Right?
I would have been embarrassed if I'd lost on
But congratulations, of course. In your packet, you have the future agenda items list. There has been no changes to the items that are on the list. We're still in a waiting pattern on several of those items. But this is the time that council can bring forward a new item that they would like for staff to begin research over the next 30 to 60 days. And we would bring those items to council at a future time period. And prior to, and Steve, I'm really kind of looking at you here just to kind of enlighten you on this area. Staff would give several updates along the way before it became an agenda item on our progress, but then we would eventually bring that forward as an agenda item as requested by council through the future agenda items list. So with that, if council would like to add anything to the future agenda items, we will happily write that down and start working on it.
I have two. Several P&Z members asked that if we could put on agenda, whether it goes to P&Z first or comes to us first, about minimum acreage if a property owner wants to redo their property and ask for a PD for some type of exceptions. So how the process should work on that, I'll let you guys determine that.
Mayor? I'm sorry, I didn't know you were.
He has two
Continue.
things. Next.
That's all right. And I think with the new majority of MUD directors, that it's important that we get a joint meeting as soon as possible. They're going to be appointing a subcommittee in June meeting, so I think we have to wait for that. So I think if we can do it in July, I know we only have one meeting in July, but if we can get some type of joint meeting, I think it's important to go over the fire ILA, property issues.
Sure. I know when we were in negotiations with the MUD previously, we decided at that time to wait until after the election period was over. And now that that's over, like you said, as soon as we get a new board appointed, a new subcommittee appointed by the MUD, then we'll be happy to move forward and start. I'll start working on that with Alan Foreman, the MUD GM, over this next couple of weeks.
I was going to point out that there's not necessary for us to get involved in that PD because Ryland has the authority to put it on the agenda, and he's already working with staff to do that, if I'm not mistaken. So it's established at P&Z.
Okay. That's why I asked the question.
Oh.
Anything else?
Anyone else?
Okay. Hearing nothing more, then that concludes future agenda items. Thank you.
Okay, so before we break for executive session, we do have cake and refreshments, so please feel free to start the party without us while we're in the back there. and I do have to read this. Pursuant to the following designated section of the Texas Government Code, annotated Chapter 551, Texas Open Meetings Act, the Town Council will recess an executive session to discuss the following. A, Section 551.087, Economic Development, deliberate economic development negotiations regarding prospective commercial projects within the Town of Trophy Club. B, Section 551.071, Attorney-client privilege, deliberate possible interlocal agreement with multiple governmental entities to provide services to Trophy Club citizens. And C, Section 551.074, personal matters to deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee and Mayor Pro Tem. The time is now 8:36 p.m. and we'll go into executive session.
Yeah.
Janet's still here.
Janet's here.
At least she also walked over.
I got swag.
You got merch.
Wow, look at
You got
this.
merch.
Yeah, swag.
Oh, I think we are. Over here. Time is now 8:56, and we are reconvening back into regular session. And do we have a motion regarding our items?
I nominate Greg Lamont to be Mayor Pro Tem.
Second.
A motion by Councilmember Monger and a second by Councilman Sheridan. All in favor?
I abstain.
Opposed?
I don't like the voting for myself.
Okay.
I did want to vote no, but.
Here,
Six
I'm-
yeses
I'm
and
voting
one
for 'em.
abstain. You should vote for yourself.
That's 3 in a row.
You're so good at it.
That's an inside joke.
And with that, I will say thank you very much for being Mayor Pro Tem and doing all the things that you do, because no one person can do this job alone. And you are at everything, if not more things than I am. And you've really helped streamline our meetings, and you've done so much work. So thank you for agreeing to do this again. We appreciate you.
Appreciate the confidence.
Okay. I think we are done. So we are going to adjourn at 8:57 p.m. Thank you, everyone.